So good morning everyone, trust you're well, keeping safe. Just had to drop Steph off, she had a nasty fall, her leg gave way and she fell on her wrist. Might have broken her wrist. Jackie's with her in A&E at the moment. So as always, no black wizard here in a Volvo estate. That's a very good film, pledged Jack Nicholson. Giant of a man called the Wizard, riding round in a black Volvo estate, abducting children and young girls. And certainly no Roy Whiten, white van man, Christian B. Sandringham serial killer, certainly wasn't me. Black wizard terrorist issue, I really don't think so. And no red car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands, Sutcliffe Steve Ray, Wayne Cousins, Brady Huntley, Fred West, no Black Panther, Ritual, serial killer here, Africa, Dis, Norwich and Sandringham, really don't think so. That one's got wife on it and that one's got wife on it. You can see my ex-wife. Shay Fraternal, Far End Burston, Big Police Council, Doctor Whom collaboration, Inspector Numbnuts Bunton, Mr. Fixer, Liar Liar, Pants on Fire, two blatant lies from a police inspector, far bigger than Plebgate, and I do have the evidence, do have the proof, do have the letter in black and white, written by Peacock, signed by Inspector Numbnuts Bunton, Mr. Fixer. Liar Liar, Pants on Fire, no longer with us, God rest his soul. So no red car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands. No Roy Whiten, white van man, Christian B. Sandringham serial killer. Black wizard terrorist, Dishewer, Dismason Council. White Lodge, the local mafia, it's the local mob. And that one's got 22 on it. That really is a 22-year catch 22. Complete abuse of power, position, authority and influence in public office. And all to cover up high crimes, royal blue murder. And certainly not mine. And certainly not me leaving the body of a 17-year-old sex trafficked girl on the Royal Sandringham estate, killing fields, late Prince Philip's favourite hunting area. Really don't think so. High royal blue crime, New Year's Day fine, September blue murder, and certainly not mine. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. How do I know? Little birdie told me so. The word that came off the Royal Sandringham estate, killing fields, loud and clear. And a 4-man crew in this, and a big silver Mercedes Benz estate car. Did see him coming, so I was prepared. Certainly did get me boxed in. Looked like they were licensed to kill and make a problem disappear. And that one's got the maze on it. Plenty of people who want to send me to the maze, which really is full of mad monster lies, bogus diagnosis, lethal injections, a very deadly serial killer virus, and they certainly have infected everyone apart from me. All delivered by Dis Post Office, Royal Mail, Postie Assassins, Vigilantes, Postie Mayor. They are the big super spreader carriers. Again, they certainly have infected everyone apart from me, but no Norfolk Jack the Kipper, Sandringham serial killer, no Black Wizard terrorist, Dishewer. You can see a load of bikes over there, no Clockwork Orange. Norwich train station, mountain bike rapist here. I did come out of the forum in Norwich at 8:30 when it closed, the big library right in the centre of Norwich. Went and had a chat with the other men and women who were homeless at the food stands by Primark and McDonald's, fully on camera. Bike back through Norwich Cathedral grounds, also fully on camera. up to Macehold Heath overlooking Norwich, where I was parked between two cameras outside the cafe. And I was on a woman's black Dutchy bike, not a mountain bike, given away free to a good home on the Burston Gisson Road, Gregson's Two Fishers Art Gallery. And the man following the woman at Norwich train station on the CCTV footage, younger than me, had a hoodie on. He was on a mountain bike, certainly wasn't me. So no Peter Cook Cambridge, blonde wig, black rapist mask, no O.J. Simpson, black Sandringham serial killer gloves in my backpack. And anyone who saw the CCTV footage and knows me could see it wasn't me. And when I did challenge the police about it on social media, they took their CCTV footage down. So I don't know if they ever caught the Norwich mountain bike rapist, but that certainly wasn't me. Simon Bailey don't cry, and his blonde host plainclothes lover, not true detective. And again, a very good film, Jim Carrey, number 23, and a very good crime drama, The Suspect. And that one's got 23 on it there. But no mad, deranged, insane, demon possessed, Jekyll and Hyde, number 21 or number 23. Serial killer here, again no Black Panther. Ritual, serial killer here, Africa, Dis, Norwich and Sandringham. No one's got the big fix, that certainly is a big fix. And again, no Red Car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands, Sutcliffe, Steve Wright, Wayne Cousins, Brady Huntley, Fred West, Black Panther, Sandringham serial killer, Clockwork Orange, Norwich train station, mountain bike rapist, Child 44, Black Wizard terrorist, dish shooter, no Blitz Limey, MP GP cop, ex-wife killer, Norfolk Bacon SS, Windsor Gestapo, so local Nazis. And there is also an interesting story that's big on social media at the moment, Lucy Letby, who many experts and a lot of people believe her conviction was unsafe, as she was set up by the NHS, directors, managers, consultants, senior doctors, junior doctors, the police and their bogus expert as the serial killer nurse, all to cover their backs, medical negligence, malpractice, the appalling conditions at the antenatal unit or the maternity unit. And that is always a tough call when it's people all in positions of power, authority and influence, and they're the ones setting you up with 7 monster lies, 7 bogus diagnoses forged in hell. More bogus diagnosis than on Jack the Ripper, who they've now identified, apparently using new DNA technology. And all to cover up high crimes, royal blue murder, certainly not mine. Frames and fixers switches, one big monster switch. Bogus diagnosis and monster lies. So again, not everyone is used and set up, framed and fixed, assassinated as a serial killer. Lucy Letby has just spent 3 years in prison, and they're all okay if Lucy Letby spends the rest of her life in prison, again all to cover up their backs. And that is the opinion of top experts, far more qualified than the bogus expert in the trial. And there has been the big Congress hearing in America. A lot has come out in that. what everyone went through over the last few years, where everyone had to comply, conform, consent, obey and confess a certain medical intervention was safe and effective. Another big monster lie, and the goons on big tech social media banning anyone exposing the truth. The same social media, a media that claimed the Wuhan lab was medical misinformation, though it was all true. Gain of function research, they also falsely claimed was medical information, all true. Vaccine injuries and deaths, they also claimed was medical information, all true. Vaccine excess deaths, they also claimed was all true. And interestingly, with the Lucy Letby case, the government were warned, and this has come out in America too, not to vaccinate healthy youths, children, infants and pregnant women, and they ignored all the warnings, and then they stopped reporting data on child injuries and deaths, miscarriages and stillbirths. So I don't know how many number 10 might disappear, again with their mandated lockdowns and vaccinations. So the truth is all coming out, and you certainly cannot trust the council, the police and doctors full of mad monster lies and bogus diagnosis. Again, very interesting case, Lucy Letby. And Andrew Christian Tate, they are being arrested in America for alleged crimes that took place the same time as the murders on the Royal Sandringham estate. Killing fields, and again also to put it into context, Steve Wright, the Suffolk strangler, ritual killer, has just been given another life sentence for the murder of Victoria Hall, 17-year-old girl who was murdered, found naked in a ditch dating back to 1999. So a crime is a crime whenever it's committed, unless that's a high royal blue crime. New Year's Day fine, September blue murder, certainly not mine. Prince of Darkness, E.T. hybrid host, red dragons. Again, see Prince Harry the Spare for details. So certainly not me leaving the body of a 17-year-old sex trafficked girl on the Royal Sandringham estate, killing fields, late Prince Philip's favourite hunting area. And that was before the 5 girls murdered in Ipswich, 22 miles from Dis, in 10 days. Some of them were found naked in a satanic pose. Steve Wright also may have been involved in the Ringland murders here in Norwich. Steve Wright did work in the Ferryman pub in Norwich Red Light District in the past. A lot of people did ask if Steve Wright was a ferryman taking the girls to other people. Again, Norwich, also 22 miles from Dis. So in a 22-year catch-22, complete abuse of power, position, authority and influence, all to cover up high crimes, royal blue murder, certainly not mine. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. And there's been a few drops of rain, that'd be very welcome after the heat wave recently. And my 28th TikTok account burned down recently, so I done a video that was pouring down with rain, so I done a video about the rains list that anyone can Google and look up on YouTube. And it's disclosed in the reigns list how they wear claws to claw their victims, human hunting parties, castles, manor houses, UK's Devil Island, country estates. And you can see a crow up there. You often get crows in the film The Omen. Again, Prince of Darkness, E.T. hybrid host, red dragons. And I did watch The Ritual Killer recently, Morgan Freeman. It's a very good watch about a witch doctor, ritual, serial killer. And I did hear a good story in Malawi, Africa, where there was a Christian minister and his team ministering to 80,000 Muslims. And there was a crow in the tree nearby, crowing away, and the Spirit of the Lord told them to pray against witchcraft, which they did. And then the crow morphed into a witch doctor who fell naked out of the tree and ran away in front of 80,000 people, 80,000 Muslims. And over 50,000 Muslims gave their lives to the Lord Jesus Christ, Joshua. And there are plenty of old crows in this, lion shape-shifting spirits, all full of mad monster lies and bogus diagnoses. Africa, Dis, Norwich and Sandringham. So no Black Panther, ritual, serial killer here. Plenty of ritual killers in high places, castles, manor houses, UK's Devil Island, country estates. And the last doctor I spoke to recently in Dis Lawns medical healthcare practice, he was from Africa. And I don't think he was a ritual witch doctor, serial killer either, and certainly no Dis lawnmower man here. Parish Fields, not so healthy centre. Can see Dr. Death SS, Silver Bullet Hoon, Dr. McCarthy. So one big monster con, one big monster bluff, one very big porcupine, serial killer lie. Everyone has to comply, conform, consent, obey and confess is true, but never the case. 39 on all accounts, in order to cover up high crimes. Royal blue murder, certainly not mine. And Christian Brunecker, who's been involved in the Madeleine McCann case, has been going on for over 19 years now. What's the anniversary? A few months ago of the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, and they do want her extradite. Christian Brunecker to the UK, again it's just been released from Germany a few months ago, and charge him with the murder of Madeleine McCann. So certainly no Roy Whiten, White Van Man, Christian B, Sandringham serial killer here, Black Wizard terrorist, Yeshua. No Blitz Limey, MP GP cop, ex-wife killer here. So 7 monster lies, 7 bogus diagnoses forged in hell. They want everyone to believe are true, but never the case. 39 on all accounts, Prince of Darkness, E.T. hybrid hosts, red dragons. Their high royal blue crime, case 39, Dr. Sleep, Jack the Ripper crime, and certainly not mine. No Here's Johnny here, one big black axe hatchet job, saw trap in Dis, Norfolk, UK. So again, over 70 million views on TikTok, 29 TikTok accounts burned down for exposing the truth, the proof, the evidence and the facts, freedom of speech and expression, freedom of choice, peaceful protest of innocence. And they certainly will pay to make you disappear. Certainly will make more than your social media accounts disappear for exposing the truth that will make you an enemy of the crown, enemy of the state. That's been a silver Ford Focus during the rains in Dis recently. Haven't seen it in more recent times. or box you up, lock you up, throw away the key. Bury you alive down the longest, deepest, darkest, blackest hole where all the monsters are, but no monster here. One big monster con, one big monster bluff. Norfolk Bacon SS, Windsor Gestapos, the local Nazis. Boys in Blue, Simon Bailey Don't Cry and his blonde host, plainclothes lover and our partner, not true detectives. So no Dis Lawnmower Man here. Can see DC Free, Hope Church now. Pastor Blake, Nurse Blake, Dis Lawn's medical health care practice. And that is a crack and watch, the True Detectives, Matthew McDonaghy, Woody Harrison. The Lawnmower Man, the Yellow King, satanic serial killer, riding round in a white pickup, abducting children and young girls, but again no Edwards Garden Centre. This Lawnmower Man here, Roy White and White Van Man, Christian B. Red Car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands. Sutcliffe, Steve Wright, Wayne Cousins, Brady Huntley. Fred West, Black Panther, Ritual, serial killer here, Africa, Dis, Norwich and Sandringham, really don't think so. And if you look up Vice True Detectives or The Real True Detective on YouTube, it's disclosed in police interviews that it's based on actual events, how people transformed during satanic ritual abuse and sacrifices when they become hosts to ET demonic entities and demon spirits. So plenty of hosts for the hungry, bloodthirsty beasts in high places. No host for the beast here. And on the flag up there, the first one on the left, there did used to be some beach huts on the first flag, but no nut in a Hitcham beach hut 7 miles from Sandringham, North Norfolk coast. Sandringham Stock and Strangler, serial killer here, really don't think so. And a very good watch, the ABC Murders, Agatha Christie, where there is a murder in a beach hut, but the man who was set up as the Stock and Strangler serial killer, that's not him at all. It's his aristocracy boss who was committing the murders. Police surrounding my frame-fixed Skoda, calling for backup. Nicely setting me up as the Black Cat, copycat, Black Cat Burston. Son of Sam, Black Panther, Sandringham serial killer, I really don't think so. Clockwork Orange, Norwich train station, mountain bike rapist, Child 44, Black Wizard. Terrorist, the shooter, again I really don't think so. Can see Keir Starmer and the Labour loonies for details. And Keir Starmer did cover up the murder on the Royal Sandringham estate, Killenfields. He was head of Crown prosecution at the time. Also covered up Jimmy Savile, King Charles, bosom pal, the most prolific, horrific paedophile on the UK's Devil Island, over 500 victims. So again, they certainly will pay to make you disappear. Really are some vans you will not want to disappear in the back of. Cruise on my frame fixed tail in this Norwich Safewold, North Norfolk coast, Derbyshire in the Lake District. And again, Keir Starmer and the Labour loonies, the police, the councils, social workers who also tried to cover up the rape of Britain and the capital, Andy Burnham and the monkey mayor. The Muslim vote was more important than the lives of thousands and thousands of young English girls who have been through the most horrific, horrendous ordeals, and some of those grooming gangs. Muslim grooming gangs were very sadistic. There are plenty of grooming gangs in high places. Also the Royal Grooming Gang, who consider it to be their royal privilege. And Andrew and Epstein trafficking women, young girls, children, boys and girls through royal estates, Buckingham Palace, with royal clearance for members of the royal family, aristocracy, other so-called elite clients on the UK's Devil Island, no investigation whatsoever. And again, Andrew Christian Tate arrested in America for alleged crimes that took place the same time as the murder on the Royal Sandringham estate killing fields. So is sex trafficking, human hunting, royal blue murder, is that a crime? And are some people above the law, untouchable? And plenty of high crimes, Jack the Ripper crimes, castles, manor houses, UK's Devil Island, country estates, and certainly not mine. So, certainly not me leaving the body of a 17-year-old sex trafficked girl on the Royal Sandringham estate killing fields, late Prince Philip's favourite hunting area. Excuse me. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. And again, how do I know? Little birdie told me so. The word that came off the Royal Sandringham estate killing fields, loud and clear. And again, I was there, staying in a disused beach hut at Hitcham, 7 miles from Sandringham, North Norfolk coast. So no red car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands, Sutcliffe, Steve Wright, Wayne Cousins, Brady Huntley, Fred West, Black Panther, Ritual, serial killer here. And I'll certainly set you up as a red car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands, Roy White and White Van Man, Christian B, to get you done in, but no mad monster, serial killer here, Africa, Disnorge and Sandringham. Again, they will pay to make you disappear. And 7 Facebook accounts also burned down since the latest release of the Epstein files, again for exposing the truth, high crimes, murders, monster lies and cover-ups, all now in the public domain across social media and on YouTube. Facebook, complicit in high crimes, covering up high crimes. And in a 22-year catch-22, complete abuse of power, position, authority and influence in public office. 23 Facebook accounts burned down now. Not because I violated anyone's community standard, but to remove the truth, the proof, the evidence and the facts. I did keep a journal, a record as events unfolded, an archive, so they burn down your social media accounts to stop you exposing the truth. Big collusion, collaboration between the corrupt powers that be and the goons on big tech social media. I did come across a video recently on Sean Atwood's podcast, and there was a man there who was high up in Silicon Valley, big tech social media, and said the entourage in high places in Silicon Valley and in big tech social media talked about them also taking part in satanic rituals. So, plenty of high crimes, Jack the Ripper crimes, certainly not mine. Again, how do I know? Little birdie told me so. The word that came off the Royal Sandringham estate, killing fields, so their high royal blue crime. New Year's Day fine, September blue murder, and certainly not mine. And 2 will smokers certainly will smoke you, do anyone's dirty work. And 7 YouTube channels also burned down that had no strikes. And interestingly, my biggest and oldest YouTube channel burned down because I made a comment in a video at the beginning of COVID-19 when I said in a video I find it very suspicious, my opinion, anyone's entitled to an opinion, except on big tech social media. When I said I found it very suspicious, the same people involved in the virus are the same people involved in the vaccine. So because I made that comment in a video, that got my YouTube, my oldest and biggest YouTube channel, burned down for having an opinion. So again, interesting story, but no ritual serial killer here. Africa, Jason Arday and Sandringham. And that is a very good film, The Final Girl, rich boys hunting young girls for blood sport. Castles, manor houses, UK, Steville Island, country estates. And certainly no one hidden in my frame fixed lockup. Plenty hidden in high places. Plenty of high crimes, Jack the Ripper crimes, and certainly not mine. So again, not me leaving the body of a 17-year-old sex trafficked girl on the Royal Sandringham estate killing fields. Prince of Darkness, E.T. hybrid hosts, Red Dragons, their high royal blue crime, New Year's Day fine, September blue murder, certainly not mine. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. And again, how do I know? Little birdie told me so. They do hunt more than birds of prey on the Royal Sandringham estate, killing fields. Again, the late Prince Philip's favourite hunting area. And interestingly also, the late Prince Philip said he wanted to come back as a deadly virus, get rid of all the useless food eaters. So guess who's on the useless food eaters list? And that is a very good film also, Inferno. They have created a plague. Millions killed, billions stolen, every Nuremberg code broken. So Norfolk Bacon SS, Windsor Gestapo, the local Nazis. Again, police surrounding my frame fixed Skoda at Hitcham, 7 miles from Sandringham, calling for backup, nicely setting me up as the Black Cat, copycat, Black Cat of Burston, Son of Sam, Black Panther, Sandringham serial killer, I really don't think so. And again, you can see my ex-wife, Shay Fraternal, far end Burston, and that one's got wife on it, and that one's got wife on it. Big Police, Council, Doctor Who collaboration. Again, Inspector Numbnuts Bunton, Mr. Fixer. Liar, liar, pants on fire, no longer with us. 2 blatant lies from a police inspector, far bigger than Plebgate. And it has been an interesting week this week. I went car was in for an MOT at Pre's garage, and I went and used the toilet over at Tradefast. And there were 2 grey Mondeos side by side against Steve Wright, the Suffolk Strangler, ritual killer, riding round in a blue Mondeo, and that's the first time I'd seen that. Yesterday at this Tesco's there were 2 white Jaguars parked next to each other, and I haven't seen that before. But again, no Black Cat, copycat, Black Cat of Burston, Son of Sam, Black Panther, Sandringham serial killer here. And you can see Burston Mill, Pages and Co, this Skelton Road Assassins, this Woodyard, Parish Fields, Not So Healthy Centre. They are all related. One big black axe hatchet job, saw trap in this Norfolk, UK. And it did happen to Daniel Morgan. He was going to expose corrupt police officers. Scotland Yard ended up with an axe in his head in the Golden Lion pub car park. And again, how do I know? Little birdie told me so. Word that came off the Royal Sandringham estate, Killing Fields, loud and clear. And then that one's got 18 on it. 18 black sets in this in the past to push their big hate campaign, crime out into the public domain, certainly painting me black, serial killer black beyond recognition. Marking up the hardcore in this post office got the biggest black set in spray paint, the big super spreader carriers. Again, a very deadly serial killer virus, and they have infected everyone apart from me. So for a bit of graffiti in this, marking up the hardcore in this, sending death threats, written death threats full of monster lies, phone calls day and night from all the phone boxes in this, cutting brake pipes, loosening wheel nuts, that almost got me killed. So that got me maximum security, solitary confinement. More bogus diagnosis than on Jack the Ripper for 18 black seds in this, in spray paint. I never had £21,000 to clear my name, not suing anyone, just to clear my name. Did have a good chat with Mr. Rowland's solicitors in this. Show him the death threats, all full of mad monster, porcupine, serial killer, paedophile, rapist, black wizard, terrorist, this shooter lies. And Mr. Rowland's solicitor, who later became a judge, could judge a character, said, Johnny, you've got a very good case of character assassination. We'll be glad to represent you. But unfortunately, you don't qualify for legal aid. And you'd be looking at least £21,000 to clear your name. So that wasn't a financial option. So 2 tins of aerosol cost £5.40. And we marked up the hardcore in this, and again their big hate crime campaign to push it out in the public domain. And they all got an ice cream and a pat on the back. I got maximum security, solitary confinement, forced drugged, and again 7 monster lies, 7 bogus diagnoses, forged in hell for a bit of graffiti in this Norfolk, UK. And no one who we marked, not one person who we marked, with a black set in spray paint would press charges for criminal damage, i.e. a bit of graffiti, and face me in court, Thetford Magistrate Court in the past, with the Dis Express reporter there and back up their monster lies, death threats. Again, written death threats full of monster lies, phone calls day and night from all the phone boxes in this, cutting brake pipes, loosening wheel nuts, that almost got me killed. So Inspector Numbnuts Bunton, Mr. Fixer, liar, liar, pants on fire, again no longer with us, God rest his soul. Raging in my face, his face as red as that car there. We will fix you bot right, you're dealing with the wrong people. So they certainly fixed me, and I did walk right into a big police saw trap. And my first ever meeting with my GP, Dr. Def SS, Silver Bullet Hume, was in a police cell that lasted less than a minute. That was my assessment. And he did have a drink problem at the time. He was suspended also because of his drink problem, so I'm told, but he did come in the cell slurring his words, and I did think at the time, did wonder if he'd driven to the police station. Took him longer to sign my detention into maximum security, solitary confinement, than it did for my so-called assessment. It lasted less than a minute, so with everyone leaning on him, again he signed my detention into maximum security, solitary confinement. Though I did escape, again forced drugged, 5 lots of drugs, 3 lots of drugs, and then 2 lots of drugs to counteract all the side effects. And interestingly, when I did get my notes from where I was framed and detained, from where I did escape, all the drug documents were all blacked out, so you couldn't see what they were injecting into me, forcing me to take, and they did completely overdo the drugs. My body was going into spasms. My heart was beating at twice the normal rate, and I thought they were trying to stop my heart, and then they'd put on their medical report that I died of natural causes, a heart attack. A few years ago, or up till recently, they would have made you disappear and said you died of COVID-19. There's a lot of people who the NHS did make disappear. Also in care homes with end-of-life drugs, some people given 5 times the normal dose, culling the UK's Devil Island, and morphine and other drugs and ventilators also made people disappear. So again, breaking every Nuremberg code. Millions killed, billions stolen, and apparently nothing to see here, but the truth is all coming out in the Congress hearing in America. And surprisingly, in my case, again, totally over-drugged me with 5 lots of drugs till my body was going into spasms. And it weren't the doctors or the nurses that raised the alarm, that was the dinner ladies. So they had to stop, and then I was able to escape. So you really cannot trust the doctors and nurses. You really cannot trust the police and the councils, or the police and the council full of mad monster lies and bogus diagnoses. They want everyone to believe are true, but never the case 39 on all accounts. So not everyone is used and set up, framed and fixed as a serial killer, or to cover up high crimes, royal blue murder. Certainly not mine, and again in the case of Lucy Letby, who a lot of people believe is innocent, that her conviction was totally unsafe, completely used and set up, framed and fixed, used as the scapegoat, as the serial killer nurse to cover the backs of the NHS, directors, managers, consultants, senior doctors and doctors, made her the, I can't say fool guy, fool woman. So Norfolk Bacon SS, Windsor Gestapo, the local Nazis, boys in blue. One big, precision-engineered, black box, serial killer, frame, fix, assassination. sealed with 7 monster lies, 7 bogus diagnoses, forged in hell, not even Harry Houdini could escape from. And again, in a 22-year catch-22, complete abuse of power, position, authority and influence in public office, and all to cover up high crimes, royal blue murder, certainly not mine. And you could have seen the Druid May Queen, number 10. You could have seen Dickhead and Co. at Scotland Yard, though Cressor Dick did get the sack, did get dicked off. You could have seen Ma Jezebel, Cruella de Vil, Lizzie the Lizard, now departed, but no Black Panther, Ritual, Serial Killer here, Africa, Dis, Norwich and Sandringham, really don't think so. Plenty of ritual killers in high places, and again plenty of high crimes, Jack the Ripper crimes, castles, manor houses, UK's Devil Island, country estates, certainly not mine. So they do hunt more than birds of prey on the Royal Sandringham estate. Killing fields. How do I know? Little birdie told me so. And that's been a tough old year for Steph, going through cancer, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, all the cancer treatments, all the side effects and complications. She ain't been too good recently, and her leg gave way today and she fell down heavily on her wrist, so she don't know if she's broken her wrist. She's in A&E at the moment. Jackie's with her. And that is always, again you can see my ex-wife, that is always those who are closest to you, who are the ones setting you up. You never have to look too far. The apples never fall too far from the tree. Not everyone in your circle is your friend. And even Steph and her entourage, Jojo and Co, Mary and Jerry, AJ and John, Jackie and Michael, Chris, Darren and Co. Can see Matt Johnson for details. Shannon and Jordan, Mr. Ronnie, all full of mad monster lies. And there is a old classic film. It's called The Lodger, 1944 film, and it's all about Jack the Ripper. But certainly no Norfolk Jack the Kipper, Sandringham serial killer here, Black Wizard, terrorist, this shoe, I really don't think so. Again, no Red Car, Michael Dunn, Michael Sands, Sutcliffe, Steve Wright, Wayne Cousins, Brady Huntley, Fred West. No Roy White and White Van Man, Christian B, Sandringham serial killer here. And they do want to extradite Christian Brunacher also to the UK, involved in the Madeleine McCann case that's been going on for over 19 years now. He was released from prison in Germany not too long ago. So no Roy White and White Van Man, Christian B, Sandringham serial killer. Certainly wasn't me. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. How do I know? Little birdie told me so. And you can see Steph's ex Johnny. One big black hand, underhand, rigged fixed hand. Italian assassination. Big police spy. Council, spy and informer. Head of sixth form. So one big black hand, underhand, rigged fixed hand. Italian assassination, a bit like Peaky Blinders. So, not me leaving the body of a 17-year-old sex trafficked girl on the Royal Sandringham estate. Killenfields, late Prince Philip's favourite hunting area. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. And again, that is a good film. The Final Girl, rich boys hunting young girls for blood sport. Castles, Manor Houses, UK's Devil Island, Country Estates. And again, that is spitting with rain now. So you can Google the rains list or look up the rains list on YouTube. That was compiled by a top psychiatrist, full of the truth, the proof, the evidence and the facts. And that is disclosed in the rains list, how they wear claws to claw their victims, human hunting pies. And that is also a big list of satanic abusers on the UK's Devil Island. Members of the royal family, the Duke of Norfolk, aristocracy. Again, you can see King Charles, Count Dracula for details, all in the bag. Ex-prime ministers, cabinet members, politicians, celebrities, all in the rains list. Peter Mandelson, who was arrested with Prince Andrew recently. So, plenty of high crimes, Jack the Ripper crimes, certainly not mine. And again, excuse me, no Clockwork Orange, Norwich train station, mountain bike rapist, Child 44, Black Wizard terrorist, this shooter. No Black Wizard, no Black Panther. Ritual, serial killer here, Africa, this Norwich and Sandringham, really don't think so. So, certainly is the one. That's always the case. The truth first is a big monster lie. Who is telling the truth and who's full of mad monster? Porcupine, serial killer lies. What is true and what is false? And tragically, the Cambridge professor has been found dead. And tragically too, there are plenty of fake frauds in white coats, doctors full of mad monster lies, bogus diagnosis, lethal injections, a very deadly serial killer virus who certainly will box you up, lock you up, throw away the key, and all to cover up high crimes, royal blue murder. Certainly not mine. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. So certainly is the one. Anyhow, God bless, take care, have a good weekend.